All right, so on my other videos, filming the chicks in the brooder, I haven't really been talking. I just wanted to give everybody a chance to observe them. But we're at 4 weeks now, and so I figured I can go ahead and explain what's going on. I've moved them out of that brooder. The brooder was a 4x4, 4 feet by 4 feet and 2 feet high. And so I moved them out of there. And now we're in a 8 foot by 8 foot and 4 foot high little pen that I built. We'll observe them here for just a second, and then I'll look at the pen. But this is still under construction, but they just sort of really outgrew the brooder. At this point in 4 weeks, they're 4 weeks and 1 day old today. We're at 95 chicks. We started with 104, and we're at 95 now. I've actually, I haven't lost all that many. I've lost, let's see how many died. So let's see, 5. We've lost 4. We've lost 4 chicks out of this process so far, and there wasn't really an explanation for why they died. They were just in the group and dead. But the other thing that, if you didn't already know this about baby chicks, is that if one gets, actually this is all the way up to adulthood with chickens. If one gets down, they're gonna trample him. And I don't know what that is, but I guess they're a lot like humans in that way. If one starts to get sick or weak, it's like they'll go out of their way to just run over them and trample them. So you got to keep an eye on them. It's just hard to do with 100 of them. But this is a pretty good little pen, and this will work for them. Believe it or not, they'll outgrow this pen pretty soon. But it's going to be a mobile pen. I've got to put the wheels on it, but right now it'll pretty well hold them. Now, as you can see across the way there, I've got the 4x2 wire, and if they really want out, they can squeeze right out of that. But for the most part, they don't want in, and it's still easy for them to get back into this. So at this age, most of them won't get out. If one does, they'll get out and kind of walk around the cage and not go too far. And then if something shows up, he'll run back in. Everything will be fine. But other than that, they're going to be a lot happier in here for a few weeks. And let me see if I can zoom in on this one here. Let's see. Like I don't know what they're picking off of him. You can see their backs. If you look real close, you can see that one's back at the bottom right of the screen. I know the lighting's not that great. But you can see they're just molting off those feathers as they grow, because they're growing really fast. And then this white one over here on the left, you can tell he has no feathers on his back too. They're just growing really fast right now. And then you can see their water, let me zoom it back out here. Their water buckets are not the cleanest thing there is, because they get on top of them and just poop down the side of them. So that's just baby birds, and that's the way they are. Let me walk around this coop real quick and I'll show you. Is this roof gonna leak? Probably so, but it gives them shade and it's pretty well protected, and rain never hurt a chicken as far as I know. It might make them mad. That wheel's not connected, but that's the way it's gonna work. I'm gonna put a wheel right there on this side and a wheel on the other side. Then we have this mongrel that would just love to get a hold of them. Look at him shaking. He'd love to get a hold of a baby chick right now. He's just excited. Alright, so I have 3 sides. This is 36 inches right here. This is 8 foot solid side, and this is all just scrap wood that was laying around. It's not the most solid stuff in the world. You know, it's just old. And then I use this right here. So it's not going to protect from every drop of rain, but it will protect them. And I'll just have to re-show you whenever I get some wheels put on this thing. And then over here I got an old door. And I really don't see any purpose of spending a bunch of money on a latch. All I did was get this I put a screw in right here on this piece of wood that I cut off of this. This is an old door from an old chicken coop. It's probably 50 years old, something like that, but it's still good wood. So anyway, this is how I'll latch it, just like that, and everything's fine. And I have a backup. You see my hinges are modern hinges. Whenever I open this, get out of there. Anyway, whenever I open this, you can see I've got a little backing there, so whenever it closes, it won't open that way. So either way, this is going to be their coop for a while. And the reason I didn't just make a short chicken tractor is because I have goats, and these chicks are going to be in here for a while. So let me see if I can angle this down. So the next move is that we're gonna, oh, look at them piled up because the dog's terrorizing them. Just little stuff like that will scare the heck out of your chicks. But anyway, the reason I didn't make it a short chicken tractor is because the goats would have gotten on top of it and started laying on it. So I made it a 4 foot tall. There's no need for it to be this tall. And also pretty soon, I'm actually gonna run a couple of dowel rods across it, 8 foot dowel rods, so that they'll be able to get up and roost on it. So that's another part of the construction. But this is where they'll be for the next few weeks. I'll film them again next week so that y'all can see how much they've grown. But it's amazing how quick they'll outgrow a little pen. They fit in that little brooder 4 weeks ago. They fit in there just fine with a lot of extra space, and then it just got more and more crowded, and they started drinking more and more water. I had to go to, last week is when I went to the second waterer. At one time they were drinking out of one, and it would last them 24 hours, and then that one got to where it had to be changed out every 12 hours, and then it's now where I have to water them every 12 hours with both of those waterers. So you always got to make sure your chickens have plenty of water too. But all right, that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a good day, and happy late Thanksgiving.